So I have drag and drop this switch, and here is the end devices. So I need computer. You can also work with the laptop. So I will drag and drop some computers. So I have taken 6 computers, and as I already have informed you that today, by using a DHCP server, I am going to assign the IP addresses for this computer. So here is the DHCP server. So I have taken the DHCP server, and to configure this particular switch, I need to connect the laptop, either computer. So let me take a laptop. So this laptop will be used for configuring this switch. So as I have already explained you in part 1 and part 2 of the VLAN lecture, so here is the connection tab. Under this tab we have this number of cable. To configure switch or any devices, we need to use this console cable. So I will take this console cable, and one end of the console cable will be connected here with the switch console port. So I have connected one end of the console cable in the console port of the switch, and other end of the cable I will connect here in this laptop. The port is RS232. So I told you already to remember where should we connect the console cable. So one end of the console cable should be connected with the RS232 port of either laptop or computer, whichever devices will you use. So depending on that, so the port number is very important, RS232, and other end of the cable will be connected with the console port of the switch. So now I will use a straight cable, because computers and switch both are different kind of devices, and to connect different kind of devices we should use straight cable for the connection. So first I will connect one end of this cable in this particular port, that is first Ethernet 01 of the switch, and another port I will connect to the LAN port of the computer PC0. So this is the LAN port. So I will take another cable. So first Ethernet 02, and I will connect with the LAN port. Here is the LAN port, first Ethernet 0 for the computer. You can observe the color of the corresponding two ports where I have connected these two computers is still orange, because MAC addresses of these two computers are getting registered slowly to the MAC table of this switch for the corresponding port which the computer is connected with, and this process will take about 50 seconds. So slowly we can observe that orange color has turned to green, because the MAC addresses has been registered successfully in this particular MAC table of the switch. So let me connect other 4 computers. So I will connect this computer. Here is the LAN port. I have connected one end of the cable with the computer LAN port. Other end I will connect to the switch. So just remember, for connecting this I will use this particular port, fast Ethernet 09. So remember, 2 computers are connected with port number fast Ethernet 01 and fast Ethernet 02, but this computer have connected with the port that is fast Ethernet 09. and connecting this computer I will used fast Ethernet 010. So remember, this port has been connected with fast Ethernet 09 and this port has been connected with fast Ethernet 010. So I will connect this computer with the port number. Just observe fast Ethernet 017 and I will connect this computer with the port number fast Ethernet 018. So remember the number. Let me use this place note to write down the port where I have connected. So here I have connected FA 01, okay. So this is the port which I have used to connect this particular computer. This is 02. You can see 02 and this is 09 and this is 010. So 9, 10 and for this we know it is 17 and 18. 17 and 18. So I have used the place note to write down the port number where I have connected this particular system, so that it will be easy for us to remember while we will be configuring. Okay, so now let us configure, let us connect this DHCP server with the switch. So one end of the cable, one end of the straight cable. I have used straight cable because DHCP server and the switch both are separate kind of devices. So to connect separate kind of devices we are going to use straight copper wire. So one end of the straight copper wire I will connect here with the LAN port of the DHCP server, and another end I will connect with the fast Ethernet port. Okay, let us connect here fast Ethernet 03. Remember this thing. Let me write FA 03. So this is the port where I have connected this DHCP server. So now first I will here I will create a static IP for the DHCP server. So let us provide a class A category IP. So we know that this is class A category IP because the first field value lies between the number 0 to 126. This signifies that this particular 32-bit IP address belongs to class A category network, and this is a 8-bit IP address. Why? Because as this is class A category network, the first field belongs to the network address and later 3 fields are occupied by the host address. So that is why this is a 8-bit IP address, because only first field and each field holds 8 bits. 8 bits into 4 field, that is 32-bit IP address. And as because this is class A network, because 1 is the value which lies between 0 to 126, so that is why this is class A network. and default subnet mask for class A network will be always 255.0.0.0. so let us provide a static IP here. Now I will create the database pool for the DHCP server. So for doing so, I will go to config tab, then DHCP tab, then you can watch out the DHCP server is kept off by default. I will switch on the DHCP server and I will provide the starting IP address of the server. So this particular DHCP server is nothing but a database. This database will hold number of IP addresses, and computers which will be connected with the server will obtain the IP addresses from this particular database. So I will create the database. This database will be consisting of number of IP address. So let me give the first address. So this will be the starting address for this database. So watch out, 1112. So this will be the starting address. I can't give 1111 because 1111 has been occupied by the address itself for this particular DHCP server. So 1111, this is the address itself for this DHCP server. So for the database I have to assign the IP addresses apart from this particular address, because this address already had been assigned to the server itself. So the database will consisting of the IP addresses apart from that IP address which already had been assigned to the server. So let us start the IP addresses with 1112. And how many addresses will this database hold? So any number you can provide. Let me provide 24. So this database will hold 24 addresses, for which the starting address will be 1112. If the starting address will be 1112, then the last address it will be at 24, then it will be automatically 11125. So that will be the last address. So the starting address for that database pool will be 1112, and the last address for this database will be 11125. So this many number of IP addresses will be stored in this database. So let me save the process. So I have saved the process, and now I will configure the setup over here. For doing that, I need to access the monitor, as I already have discussed that to configure switch I have to access the interface, and switch does not have any skin. So I have to access the interface on a particular skin. That is why I have connected the laptop with the console port, so that through the skin of this laptop I can able to access the hardware interface of the switch. So let me start. I will open the laptop and I will go to desktop menu and then terminal. So as usual I will keep all the parameters as default and then press OK. So this is the terminal switch. So first I will enable the switch. So you can watch the switch is enabled. I will go to configuration mode, configure terminal. So you can observe the change in symbol because I already have entered in the configuration mode. So now I can do the configuration. So what will I do now? I will create a VLAN. So for creating VLAN, the command that will be used, VLAN followed by the number. So any number you can provide. Let me provide 2. So I have created the VLAN. The value I have provided for the VLAN is 2. So I have entered in that particular VLAN. Now you can observe symbol has been changed. So now I am going to provide a particular name for this VLAN 2. So with the name command followed by anything, I will give ABC. So ABC will be the name of the VLAN 2. So okay, fine, VLAN has been created with the name ABC. So now I will move out by using the exit button. So I have moved out. So let me create another VLAN 3. Now I will provide a name DEF. So the name I would like to provide for VLAN 3 is DEF. So okay, so I have provided the name. Let me check that whether the VLAN has been created or not. For doing that, I will move out. Again I will move out. To just enable mode, I have to move out from the configuration mode. So now I am in enable mode. So here I can check the status of the switch, whether the VLAN, those two VLAN which just now I have created, is active or not. So for observing that, the command that will be used, so VLAN, so you can just observe this two VLAN has been created. Value 2 name ABC active, value 3 name DEF active, but all those 24 ports are now belonging to the default VLAN. So now I will slowly move some of this port, and I will shift those port to this two VLAN which I have created just now. Okay, for doing that, in VLAN part 2 we already have learned the concept of range. So we are not going to shift each port under a VLAN separately. So we will use the range command to collect all those ports together and shift those to under a particular VLAN. Let us do. For doing that, first I will move on to configuration mode. Watch, we are in configuration mode now. Interface. So I am not going to shift each interface individually. So I will select all interface together and by the range command and move those together to a particular VLAN. So we have learned this command in part 2. Let us implement the same. So interface range. So the range between fast Ethernet 01 to fast Ethernet 08. So 8 ports I have selected using this particular range command. So by using range command I have selected 8 ports. So not going to select port individually. So we are not going to shift individual port one by one. That will take enough time. So we will use the range command to collectively shifting number of ports together. So okay, you can watch switch config if range. So that many number of port we have selected. So now we are going to shift all those ports starting from FA01 to FA08. This many number of ports we are going to allot to the VLAN 2. So for doing that I will write switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 2 So now I will assign this to VLAN 2. So now what I have done, I have allotted port number 01 to port number 08 collectively under the VLAN 2. Okay, so now I will move out from the selection. So I have already selected 8 ports, so I have released the selection. So I will move out from this selection. For that I will use exit. Again I will select number of ports, interface, range, fast Ethernet 09, fast Ethernet. So again I am going to select ports starting from 09 to 016. So I have selected 8 ports by the range command. So now I am going to shift all those 8 ports under VLAN 3. For doing that I will write the command switch port mode access. So now switch port access VLAN 3. So I am shifting those 8 ports under VLAN 3. So it is done. 8 ports has been assigned under VLAN 3. Let me check out. Let me first move out from the range selection. Okay, now I am in config mode. You can watch the symbol has been changed. So now I am in just enable mode. You can watch again the symbol has been changed. Let us check the status of the switch. For doing that so VLAN, just observe now the particular default port holds 8 ports starting from fast Ethernet 017 to fast Ethernet 024. So 8 ports, it holds 8 ports. Why VLAN 1 hold 8 ports? Because we have created 2 VLAN 2 name ABC. This hold 8 ports starting from FA01 to FA08, because we already have assigned these 8 ports under VLAN 2 and another 8 ports starting from FA09 to FA016 under VLAN 3. So and these ports we have not assigned under any newly created VLAN. That is why these ports stay under the default VLAN unmoved. So these 8 ports are unmoved and still those ports are belonging to this default VLAN. So okay, we have created 3 separate VLAN. Let me close the terminal. Now what will I do? I am going to assign IP addresses to those 6 systems. So because without assigning IP addresses I will not able to send packet from this computer. See, we can't send packet because we have not assigned the IP addresses. So as I have already told you before that we are going to assign IP address from this DHCP server. We are not going to provide static IP address. So already we have created the database in this server. So now let us start. So first I will try to assign the IP address in this particular computer. So I will open the computer, I will go to desktop menu and I will click IP configuration, and then I will not use the static option because I am not going to provide any static IP over here. So I will use the DHCP option, so that this computer will request a 32-bit IP address from the server, and the server from the database, in the database of the server there are 24 IP address, and among those 24 IP address the server will send a IP to this particular computer. So let us do that. So I will request, so you can watch out 1112, the starting IP which was there already had been responded. So the DHCP server had successfully responded for the request which was passed by the PC0, and now PC0 has successfully received this IP address from the database 1112. Let us request a IP address for PC1. In the same process, I will go desktop, IP configuration, and I will request the DHCP server to respond and send a IP address for the computer PC1. We can watch out, the DHCP server has responded and sent this particular IP address for the computer. Okay, let me repeat the process for this computer. Now the question is that whether this computer will be able to access the response of the server. Let us check. So I will click this DHCP, and you can watch out, it is taking some more time, and after the DHCP request failed. So why the DHCP server has failed to respond? The reason is that, watch out very clearly, we have created two separate VLAN. So this is ABC VLAN, VLAN, VLAN 2, this is VLAN 2. DEF, VLAN, VLAN 3, this is VLAN 3. And at last but not the least, default, this is the default VLAN. So we can see why, because we know that in this switch there are 24 ports, and in those 24 ports, fast Ethernet 01 to fast Ethernet 08, those 8 ports has been assigned to VLAN 2 ABC, where these two computers are connected between fast Ethernet 01 and fast Ethernet 02. And as we have allotted fast Ethernet 09 to fast Ethernet 016 under the VLAN 3, that is DEF, where these two computers are connected in the port fast Ethernet 09 and fast Ethernet 010. So these two computers are belonging to VLAN 3, and these two computers are belonging to the default VLAN. Why? Because we have not assigned port number 17 to port number 24. So those 8 ports are belonging to the default VLAN. And watch out in which port the server is connected. The server is connected in the port number 03. So now we can say this server is belonging to ABC VLAN, VLAN 2. So as because the port which was used to connect the server and the switch lies under the VLAN 2, that is why only the traffic which will be sent from these two computers will be responded by the server, because only 8 ports are assigned under VLAN 2, port number starting from 01 to 08. So any device is connected in those 8 ports will be able to communicate. The rest computers or any other networking devices will not be able to communicate, as because the VLAN has been separated. In spite of that, the switch is physically a same switch, but virtually the VLAN has been separated, because so that is why the traffic of separate VLAN will not be accessed among each other. So if we have to assign IP addresses to these two computers, what we need to do, first we have to remove the cable, and now again I will select the straight cable. One end I will connect to the fast Ethernet port, that is the LAN port of the DHCP server, and another port I will connect here to any port between port number 11 to port number 16. Let me connect here to port number 11. So now this server is connected to FA011. so we know that as because so let me change here only, so 11. So as because now the server is connected to the port number 11, that belongs to VLAN 3. So now these two computers can access and request for the IP address from the server, because these two computers are connected under VLAN 3 and the server is also connected under VLAN 3, because port number 09 to 016, those 8 ports are under VLAN 3 and the server is connected with the port that is 011. So that is why the server is connected under the VLAN 3. So now this PC can send the request to the server. You can check, see 1 1 1 and 4. So successfully server has responded and sent a IP address for the computer PC2. So let me request IP address for PC3. Watch out, see, so very quickly server has responded and sent this IP address for PC3. But again these two computers are belonging to a separate VLAN, that is default VLAN. Again if I request for the IP address, this computer will not be able to access response from the server, because this computer will not be able to send any traffic through a separate port of VLAN. So again what I need to do, I have to remove the wire. So I will remove the wire and I will again take a straight cable. I will connect this server one end port with the LAN, another end and to the switch. But here and this many numbers of port are available. I am going to use fast Ethernet 019. So I have connected now with the port fast Ethernet 019, and this is belonging to the default VLAN. So this is the default VLAN. You can watch out, because we have not allotted the port starting from FA017 to FA024. That is why those 8 ports which are not allotted under any newly created VLAN, that is why those 8 ports are still belonging to the default VLAN. So you can watch out FA017, FA018, those are belonging to default VLAN, and the server is connected with FA019, so that port is also belonging to the default VLAN. So now these two computer can request for the, you can watch out, successfully the request has been sent to the server, and server had responded with an IP address from the database, and PC4 successfully received the IP address, that is 1116. So let me request an IP address for PC5. You can observe, so successfully IP address has been received by PC5 from the DHCP server. So now using DHCP server we have connected all 6 systems. Now we can send packet here between these two systems. We can also send packet between these two systems successfully, and we can also send packet between these two systems. Okay, but we will not be able to send packet between PC4 and PC3 in progress and failed. We will be not able to send packet between PC2 to PC1. You can see in progress and failed. We can never send packet between PC5 to PC1 in progress and failed, because there are 3 separate VLAN, and computer from one VLAN will never able to send packet to the computer of a separate VLAN. So now we already have understood how using DHCP in a VLAN setup system can obtain IP address dynamically. But if I again remove the IP address from this particular system PC1, let me remove the IP address. So I have removed the IP address from PC1. Now I would like to request again for the IP address from the server, because in real life when the computer is shut down, that time the computer release the IP address, because as I have already discussed that in this process a computer leaves a particular IP address for a particular time period, and after that time period again the server will send a new response. So again after expiry of that time, the computer which is connected with the DHCP server will send request to the server for a new IP, and the server will send the IP address which is available in the server pool to that system. So it is not compulsory that, or it is quite not confirmed that the same IP address will be sent again which was previously allotted. If that IP address is available in the server with the database, then the same IP address could be allotted again. But in some cases if that IP address is allotted to some other system, then server will send some other IP address to the computer which is connected in the network. So let me send a request for IP address. Watch out, requesting for IP address, and see DHCP request failed. Why? Because this DHCP server is connected with the port number 019. So as because the server is connected with the port 019. This port belongs to VLAN 1, so only traffic from these two computer or any computer which will be connected between the port FA017 to FA024, those devices will be able to pass traffic among each other. As we have already separated the switch into 3 VLAN, this computer is connected with the port which is under the VLAN 2, so that is why now this computer will not able to access the server. To do that, again I will have to remove the port, or I will connect the server with this port which belongs under the VLAN 2. Then okay, wait for 50 seconds unless the MAC address of the server get registered to the MAC address of the MAC table of the switch. So let us wait for some more seconds. It is about to complete. The process is about to complete. Yes, now I will request for the IP address. Wait, you can watch out. So request has been successfully responded. So as I was talking, that a new IP address has been allotted by the DHCP server. Previously the IP address which was allotted here was 111 and 3, but now as I have requested again, the server has allotted a separate IP address, that is 1118. So it is quite clear now. But okay, one thing we can do, we can take 3 separate DHCP server, and those 3 separate DHCP server we can connect in 3 separate VLANs. Let us observe, if we take 3 separate VLAN and one by one if we connect those VLAN. So let us connect this server in the port starting from 11 to 16. So now this server belongs to the VLAN 3, this server belongs to VLAN 2 because I have connected to the port number 3, and this is belong to VLAN. So this is VLAN DEF. Okay, VLAN 3, and this is the default VLAN 1, and this will be ABC VLAN 2. So you can watch, we have connected 3 server to 3 separate VLAN. So now let us provide the static IP here. I will provide a static IP over here, that will be 1.1.1.2. okay, 1112. Now I will go to config. Now DHCP, I will switch on the service and I will provide 1 1, and here I will provide 10. So the starting IP I have allotted here 11110. So the number of devices which can obtain the IP address from the server. Let us give 10. So let us save. So I have saved the setting for the server. Let me repeat the process over here. So 1.1.1.3 1113. Here I will provide the IP DHCP 111. Let me provide 10. Number of user, let me provide 10. Okay, so this will be the starting IP address. Okay, I have saved here. So I will do some change over here. Wait, so here also I will write 10. So the starting IP addresses will be 10, and number of system that can obtain the IP addresses from the server will be 10, not more than that. So okay, now one thing I will do, I will first delete all the IP addresses. So I will delete all the IP addresses, and after that again I will request access of IP address. So let us start. So first we know that this is VLAN 2. This two computer will access IP address on this system, because here I have used this is connected with FA03, this is connected with FA011, so that is why this is under VLAN 2, and this is connected with FA017, maybe 19, so this is under VLAN, this VLAN. So let us request IP addresses. So you can watch 11110. So again I will send the request 11111. So now PC2 will request from this server. See, 11110. One thing we have observed, so the IP address of this computer was 11110, and the IP address of this computer is also 11110, but there are no conflict. So while we are trying to provide same IP addresses in a same network, that time system had not allowed us to provide the IP address which we already have provided earlier to other system, but in this case we are assigning same IP addresses. Just observe 11111. So see, the IP address of this system is also 11111. So because I have created the server pool here starting from 11110 in all three DHCP server. Watch. So this thing I have done intentionally to make you understand that, as because these are separate VLAN, you can watch out. Requesting for IP address, DHCP failed. Why is there any problem? This is connected. Let me check how is this connected. This is VLAN 1. Again I will use state cable. Let me connect, and okay, let us check the static IP. Oh sorry, okay, it is okay, 1113, and DHCP 110. Okay, everything is okay. So let me wait for 50 seconds. So this is under the default VLAN. These two computer must obtain the IP address from this server. There should not be any problem. Let me try again. See, 11110 and 11111. So it has been observed that this computer, and this computer, all these three computers have, you can see all these three computers have same IP address, that is 11110. watch out, all these three computers have same IP address, and these three computers also have same IP address 11111 11111. This is only because we have separated the switch into three separate VLAN. That is why those 6 computers are not, or you may say these 9 networking devices are not interlinked among each other. So these 2 computer and this server is under a separate VLAN. This 2 computer and this server is under separate VLAN. These 2 computer and this server are under separate VLAN. So VLAN has been separated, so they are not linked with each other. So what one computer of a different VLAN is obtaining IP, that particular IP address is not known to the system which is connected to another VLAN. So that is why it has been possible that all these computers are allotted with same IP address, and system has not restricted for doing so. If you have not separated these 3 VLAN, that time this would not have been possible. So okay, so we have understood using this DHCP server how it is possible to assign IP address to the computers. But one thing is that the process is quite expensive, because you have to purchase separate DHCP server for separate VLAN, or if you can also work with a single DHCP server, as I already have shown you earlier. But in that case, every time we are going to request for the IP address from any particular system, we have to we have to actually reconnect the server to different port according to the aspect of VLAN. So that is also a complex job for the networking administration. So one thing that would have been possible, that if we run the chunk command, because we already have discussed in the previous video of VLAN part 2 lecture that by running the chunk command we can make a particular port friend of all VLAN. So once a particular port will become friend of all VLAN, that port can access traffic from any VLAN, and that is why any system that is connected with that particular port can communicate with the devices which are connected with any VLAN. So if we can run the command, so let us do that. I will take a straight cable and I will connect the port 20 to the server. So remember, port 20 has been used for connecting the server. So we have connected the server with the port 20. So what I will do, I will open the terminal and I will access the Cisco switch. Okay, you can see I have selected the port 20, switch port, mode access, switch port, mode So I will run the trunk command. So now you can see the color has been changed to orange. So as because this particular port 20 has been made to trunk and it became the friend of all VLAN. So now this particular port has became the, so now it became the friend of all ports. So now it can communicate with all separate VLAN. So let us watch, let us move out, let us watch the status of VLAN. VLAN, okay, sh, so VLAN, okay, you can see this particular port 20 is missing. So port 20, previously the port 20 was belonging to VLAN, default VLAN, but now you can see after 1921 the port 20 is no longer exist in VLAN 1 because that port became the friend of all 3 VLAN. So now all 6 computers connected with separate VLAN can access the server. Why? Because this particular server is connected to the port number 20, which port has become, so the port number 20 has become friend of all 3 VLAN. So now port 20 can access the traffic from these 7 ports which are under VLAN 1, and port 20 also can access traffic from the computers which are connected with these 8 ports under VLAN 2, because port 20 has become the friend of VLAN 2 also, and also port 20 became the friend of VLAN 3 and can access the computer those are connected with these 8 ports. So this is the way you can work with the VLAN setup with the process of obtaining IP addresses from the DHCP server. So this is how you will configure a VLAN setup using DHCP method of obtaining IP address. So after all this, we need to save the configuration permanently in the switch. For doing that, I will use the write command. So now I have saved all the settings which I have done permanently in the permanent memory of the switch. Previously all the data were in the temporary memory of the switch. Okay, so let us end the topic for the discussion today here. In next video I will start with the router configuration.